What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Victor here, and I just want to make a quick breakdown video for you. My second trade that I took this week just hit take profit for a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward. That's what I like to stick to consistently, and I just want to explain the trade. I want to break it down so that you guys can get an insight to how I trade, what I look for, how I enter, where I place my stop loss, my take profit, all of that good stuff. So let's get right into it. So the first thing, this is USDCHF. Okay, so I took a sell position right here, as you can see, on USDCHF, and it has hit take profit for 1 to 2.5 risk to reward. So the first thing I normally look out for before I take a trade, remember I'm a swing slash day trader, which means sometimes I hold my trade for more than a day, 2 days, 3 days, and other times my trade hits take profit just in less than an hour. Okay, this is exactly what happened this morning. So this trade was taken during the London session, USDCHF. So before I take any trade, the first thing I look out for is the trend. Okay, so I'm going to be writing it down for you over here so that you guys can see the things I normally look out for before I take any trade. So number one is the trend. Okay, so right here on USDCHF, we can see very clearly that price has been trending downwards. Okay, there is no argument on that. Okay, so if I pull up my tool here, you can see clearly that USDCHF has been trending after this break below this level of this structural level here. You can see that USDCHF has been trending downwards on the weekly time frame. Okay, so from the weekly time frame, we now come down. Remember, what I'm doing is a top-down analysis. So I start from the weekly, identify the trend on the weekly, and then I come down to the daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame is where things get a little more clear. Okay, so you can see here clearly also that USDCHF has been in a downtrend. So first of all, we can see a level of, you can see a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high. I took this trade at this point. A lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low. Okay, so after identifying these structural price movements, now the second thing that I look out for is what the second thing I look out for is areas of interest, areas of support and resistance. That is areas of supply and demand. Okay, so that's the second thing I look out for. I look out for support and resistance areas. Okay, that is my areas of interest. Actually, sorry about this interruption. Like I said, the second thing I look out for when I want to enter a trade is support and resistance zones. Okay, that is my areas of interest. Okay, so I want to basically, I'm trying to identify where price is most likely going to move from, because as traders we know that price doesn't just move from anywhere. Yeah, price moves from anywhere, but there's a high probability of price moving from a structural level. Okay, so as you can see here, I've completely identified all the areas of interest. You can see we have a level of resistance here, we have support, 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 and then here price turned to resistance. I took this trade. You can see here there was a level of support here, level of support, and then resistance, resistance, resistance all throughout here. Now for this particular trade, the areas of interest that I was interested in were these ones. These ones right here. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we know that this is a very strong area of support because it's on the daily time frame. Okay, the higher the time frame, the more reliable the zones are. We have this zone of support, another zone of support, another zone of support. Now here we have a support overlap. Okay, and then right here we can now see clearly when price broke. If I zoom into this, you can now see clearly here that price broke this level of support. Remember, the levels of support we are looking at was this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, this is an overlap. But then you look here, after this candle rejected, then the next day price successfully closed below this level of support. And now, when price closes below a level of support, we understand that there is a high probability that the trend, whatever trend is happening, which is downtrend, the trend is going to continue. Okay, so that's exactly what I was looking for here. I was looking for the downtrend to continue. So now, the third thing that I was now looking for, or that I look out for whenever I'm taking a trade, is my entry signal. Okay, I have to be patient to wait for my entry signal at my uh, desired zone of interest. Okay, my zone of interest. So if I move down to the 4 hour, you can see clearly that this was the first resistance level, sorry, the first support level, second support level, support overlap, and then here you can see clearly here price broke this zone and retested it here. I took this trade, I think that was last week, but it ended up being a loss. Okay, and then next one I took this trade here, and it went to profit, and then I took this one to profit. So this whole January, it has been 2 wins and 1 loss on USDCHF. Okay, this is why you should not bother. If you look at my previous video, I explained why risk management is very important. This is why you shouldn't bother. As long as you are managing risk, you shouldn't bother whenever you lose a trade, because you know that in the long run, as long as you have a strategy that has at least a strike rate, and you are making 2% more than what you are making more than what you are risking on your winning trades, you always come out profitable. Okay, so we've identified the levels of interest. Now the third thing we are going to look for is our entry signal. Now, because I analyze on the higher time frames, I like to enter on the lower time frames. So you can see here, this particular rectangle you are seeing here is that zone from the weekly time frame, from the daily time frame, from the 4 hour. Okay, so you can see that immediately price came to this zone here. You can see how we bounced off and then broke the zone properly. Okay, now after breaking the zone, it now came back to retest that level. Okay, this is what we call in forex change of roles. This was the previous support level, and then it is now coming back to retest as a resistance level. So now support has become resistance. Okay, and price is now potentially going to head down. So I analyzed this chart yesterday, and then this morning when I woke up was really early, around because I live in Nigeria, around 7 or 7:30. I can't remember properly. I saw very clearly that price has given me my entry signal, which is what, a solid bearish engulfing candle. We can see that we had this first bullish candle here, bullish candle, and then this bearish engulfing candle right here. Okay, engulfing the bullish candles. Okay, so that is exactly where I entered. I didn't enter immediately here after this candle closed. I placed a limit order. So I entered before the close of this candle. Okay, so now price flew all the way down, gave me my 2.5 risk reward in the matter of less than 2 hours. Okay, so that's exactly what the reasons why I took this trade. So to recap very easily, the first thing I look out for is the trend. The second thing I look out for are my support areas of support and resistance, which are my areas of interest. And the third thing I look out for is my entry signal. Now these are the compulsory confluences I must get before I enter any trade. Now moving further, I'm going to explain other confluences, because the more confluences you have, what I mean by that is the more reasons you have to take the trade, the more likely the trade is going to work out in your favor. Okay, it doesn't mean it works out every time, but the more reasons you have to take a trade, okay, the more confluences you have backing up a trade, the more likely the chances are that it will go in your favor. Okay, so the first extra confluence I have is psychological level. So if you look here, you will see that we have a round psychological level of 0.92500. Okay, price was below 0.92500, And then the next one we have is the EMA. If we go down to the 2 hour time frame,